Today at NoPad Sports Talk, we are going to reveal our picks for Week 6, and we are going to talk a little playoff baseball.
Turn that off! It's time for NoPad Sports Talk. Stay tuned as two brothers bring you the latest from your Michigan teams and beyond in hockey, baseball, football, and more. Let's get started. Here are your hosts, JD and Steve.
Well, welcome to the show. As we stated a little bit earlier on, we are going to be talking some picks here for football. We have our weekly picks, trying to have a better record overall for the year than ChatGPT. And, playoff baseball's full swing. We're almost into the American League Series and National League Series. Let's see how it goes with the World Series. I see the series a lot on that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
Wow. So the NLCS, ALCS,
the NLCS
and
and
the
ALCS, I think, is where he was trying to go with that. But
so,
hey, all right.
At any rate, so there we are. And right now, the Dodgers are currently playing. So I'm trying to kind of keep an eye on that game as we're doing the show.
Inning 3, right? They're in the third inning.
Yes.
1-0 Dodgers. 1-0
Top of
Dodgers,
third,
right?
1-0 Dodgers. Kiki Hernandez had a nice little home run to give him a lead. Yamamoto got in a little bit of trouble that inning there in the top of the third, so happy that he was able to get out of that without giving up a run. Anyway, picks. So let's talk about.
I think I stinked it up again last week.
Yeah, you didn't do so great. To be honest, though, nobody did great, I'd say. Nobody did great. But you did do the worst.
6?
You had 6 wins.
Six wins.
So,
and there was only 12 games, right? So I was 6-6. Is that right?
there was a total of 14.
14 games. Okay.
Yes.
12 games on Sunday. That's what happened. It was Thursday and then the Monday game. So, 14 games.
So you did worse than... Oh, wait. What? Is that right?
It's one of my worst weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I just want to make sure I had this correct here. Yeah. You did. Is it your worst week, or is that is your worst week?
I thought I had a 5.
Oh no, week 2. Week 2, yeah, 5. Yeah,
I had a 5-win week. Yeah,
All
it's
right,
just not been my year.
It has not.
Teams that I've been betting on the Buffalo Bills every week. I shouldn't say betting, but I've been backing the Bills every week, right? I've been pretty consistent picking the Falcons. I've been really consistent about going against the Chiefs.
There you go.
Right?
That one hurts a little bit.
And I've been hit or miss when it comes to picking Baltimore. I pick them and they lose, and then I don't pick them and they win. So they're screwing me over a little bit. But hey, that is, I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Well, the other thing I'd say, though, is the other team you've been picking against a lot is the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, you picked them last week and you picked them one other week, but you picked against them the previous 3 weeks, and that bit you.
That bit me, yeah. Well, again, I'm looking at the competition, the teams that they're playing, and it was going to be tough. Like that Tampa game, that was going to be a tough game, right? And it was, and went into overtime. So that was really a flip of the... No, that was the other... No, that wasn't the Vikings. I take that back. That was the Falcons. Falcons went.
Falcons,
anyway, yeah. But I wasn't sure what we were going to get in their quarterback. And, they're doing a pretty good job there in Minnesota.
They are.
So...
Yeah, they are. So let me go ahead and show the screen and kind of see how everything went here. Kind of go through those picks real quick. So earlier on, Falcons won. So again, Steve picked the Buccaneers. Everybody picked the Vikings here. Bears won. ChatGPT made some ground there. And if you watch the previous show, we just talked about it's going to be tough to pick against the Bears again because Bears are actually playing some pretty good football.
Right, pretty good football.
Commanders won. Of course, here the Dolphins won. Again, with the Dolphins with the third string quarterback, Steve and I both thought it'd be very difficult for the Dolphins to come out and actually win this game, especially playing at the Patriots. But they did. So
Patriots laid an egg.
Jaguars won. This is the game that I switched my pick from the Colts to the Jaguars because Anthony was not playing.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson was still out, so I gave him we'll call it a mulligan. It's not really a mulligan, but
right.
We're gonna we let him change his allegiance.
There's no allegiance involved. I'm just trying to pick the winner, right?
Like pick the winner.
And I thought that Richardson gave the best chance to win, but Flacco, the dude, it was not his fault they lost. That's all you can say.
That's true. That is a true statement.
And so it was. I thought I made a mistake switching my pick to the Jaguars, but
because I thought the Colts had it, and
I did too.
Josh Downs had a heck of a game, and he's really actually thrived a little bit with Flacco back there. So
and then the Texans won here. We all picked the Bills, and again going into this game, I said if the Texans win, I would be really happy because I wanted to lose that game. I did not want that pick to come true. Ravens won. Everybody picked the Ravens. Everybody picked the Broncos. I already picked the Niners, but the Cardinals with the upset here.
Yeah, it was definitely an upset.
Giants, another upset.
Another
over the Seahawks.
So this is now 2 weeks in a row because, spoiler alert, Seahawks lost to the 49ers, and it wasn't close early, and like the Seahawks made a valiant effort there at the end of the game, but their defense is atrocious, and I think that shows 2 weeks in a row now. I mean, they got beat by the Giants, they got beat by the Niners. The Niners was obviously they got a good offensive team, so and they are missing some pieces there.
They are missing pieces though, Packers won here. I've been pretty steady picking the Rams, and that's kind of bit me a lot too. Yeah, that's been my biggest blunder is picking the Rams as often as I did. Cowboys won. I already picked the Cowboys, and I already picked the Chiefs, except for one individual.
Yep.
Yeah. So look, that's kind of
the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Look, the Chiefs get it done. They do. Right. It's not pretty all the time. It's not a blowout win, and I don't need them to be blowout wins, but I'm also looking at I'm already behind the 8 ball, and the goal is to try and make up ground, and the only way to do that is to pick something that's opposite what my brother picks.
Yeah.
So
well,
I could care less if ChatGTP beats me at this point. The pride is about brother versus brother. ChatGTP is not even in the picture in my head right now.
Yeah, but see, I'm beating ChatGPT, so you got to beat ChatGPT to catch up to me.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just, the focus is catching games for you. That's the goal. I'm catching games to you.
So, a quick spoiler alert for week 6. You and I have only had 2 different picks for winners in week 6 here. So, let's take a look at week 6. So here we are. We got, of course, Niners won this game. So we got so Steve and I, again, like we said last week, it's hard to pick against the Bears. So we both went with the Bears. ChatGPT had the Jaguars in that game. Bucks versus the Saints. Saints have a ton of injuries. I believe even Carr's out. So it's going to be difficult for the Saints to come back and win. So Buccaneers kind of seems like a lock in this game.
Yeah.
Commanders versus the Ravens. Here is one where we differ.
Yeah. This was a tough game for me, right?
I can understand. Yeah.
So I've been a Washington fan since Joe Theismann got his leg snapped by Lawrence Taylor, right? That was the first game I remember watching with Dad. Okay. So I have been a Washington fan since then. And I've held true to that through the bad years, the good years. I am a Washington fan, and they are playing really good. They've got their defense isn't horrible, and their offense looks pretty good. So, and this is starting to get week 6, and I think you're going to start seeing teams they're going to be able to make some adjustments of what they've seen from Jaden Daniels, right?
Yeah, they will.
So this was kind of a coin flip for me. Obviously, I was a little heavier on the Washington side. That's why I picked the Commanders.
Well, just a little tidbit of information. I know I sent this to you earlier, but Jaden Daniels, a report came out that he gets into the facility every day at 4 a.m.
4
And he
a.m.
has his lifting done and his film study done before anybody else even gets into the facility. Like that guy's putting in the work, and you gotta love a guy like that.
Yeah. So if you guys have ever watched I think it's the Brady documentary that they did with the Patriots, or it was just the Patriots documentary, right? And when Brady first came into the league, and just how the team, like, they were put together then, and everyone was trying to beat the next person, right?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even worried about beating. It didn't seem like they were even worried about beating the next team. It was, did I get into work earlier than the next guy? Did I get more film study than this? There was this internal competition. And when you sent me that and I read it, and I'm like, that's the first thing I thought of. Now, Jaden Daniels is a long way from being called the GOAT.
Sure.
Okay. Long ways. But he's doing the right things early. He's using AI, right? Like going through the motion, like using AI, like an Oculus or whatever to go through plays so we can hear the coach in his ear. What can he see on the defense and what they might throw at him? Like it's pretty intense what he does to prepare himself for a game. So it's not a bad pick. It was a tough one because the Ravens and Derrick Henry, like now that they have Derrick Henry and have a kind of I thought they could have gone undefeated. I thought they had that kind of team. So I just, let's keep it close. Cowboys or the Commanders win by 1. That's what I want.
Yeah. All right. Cardinals and Packers. Everybody picks the Pack, and here's a second game we differ on right here. Colts and Titans.
Again, now this was really
this is tough for me
flip.
too. Yes, this was tough for me too.
And
as I've said before, I usually go with the home team when it comes to a coin flip when I can't really make a decision.
Yeah, and I went with Joe Flacco and Josh Downs to have a big game. So
I understand that too. I mean, seeing, and it's not just what Flacco did in that game, but it's what he did the previous year, even. Right. Coming in and like he's putting up some all around good numbers.
Yeah,
like you have to give the guy credit. And
because didn't they bring him in? It was in Cleveland, right? And he finished the season in Cleveland last year?
Yeah.
After everybody got hurt and nobody wanted to play, and he came in and was making them look good.
Yeah.
So the old guy still got a couple of miles on his tires.
Look, I don't think that's a bad pick. I think if I like this pick better than your Commander's pick anyways, right? As far as like going against the grain here. But
yep.
Texans and Patriots. It looks like Patriots are going to make a change at quarterback from everything that I'm seeing.
They are. Drake May is going to start.
May is going to start. So, a rookie,
saw something that Jacoby Brissett actually said. Drake May came to him, asked him how he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacoby looked at him and says, if you're worried about me, son, you're worried about the wrong thing. Right? Like, get your head in the game, basically.
Right.
As a consummate professional that he probably is, right? Because Jacoby Brissett has been around a long time, played behind some really good quarterbacks.
Yep.
Right? So, had his opportunities, and, I think he knew when they drafted him, it was only a matter of time, and he just needed to go out there and continue to win that game, especially a first-round quarterback, right? It's not like a Dak Prescott where you took a third-round or fourth-round pick and then all of a sudden he shows up, right? But anyway.
I already picked the Eagles. Broncos over the Chargers, except for GPT. All Steelers, all Falcons. Chad GPT picked the Cowboys in this one. Obviously, we got to go with the Lions. Both picked the Bengals again. I have no faith in the Giants. I don't care that they won last week, whatever. I just got no faith.
I still don't think Malik Neighbors is playing, so that's another guy that's down. So they're looking at like their third or fourth string receivers coming in, trying to make some stuff happen.
And
they got Daniel Jones at quarterback.
That's why I don't believe in the Giants. I don't believe in Daniel Jones. Yeah. And the Bills over the Jets. Jets just seem really dysfunctional. They fired, Robert Saleh.
They fired their head coach. Yep. So
Like,
that could be
and
a thing that actually ignites them a little bit, and then they play well.
it
But
could, but the
I don't
rumor
think the
is
coaching
that
was the problem.
Aaron Rodgers, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this. Okay, just for those that may not heard this rumor, the rumor is that Robert Saleh was going to fire the offensive coordinator, but Aaron Rodgers has a relationship with the offensive coordinator, right? Like he really likes him. So Aaron Rodgers went to the owner, and basically the owner made the change and fired Robert Saleh instead of firing the offensive coordinator. And if you look at the like how well the offense has performed, you can understand why the coach may want to make a change as offensive coordinator. And the defense has been performing really well, though, and that was kind of Robert Saleh's,
He was a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So, but if I'm just saying, if there's any truth to that, there could be a lot of resentment in that locker room towards Aaron Rodgers. So it may not galvanize the locker room, is all I'm trying to say.
Right. So I saw that when they spoke to the owner says, yes, I did speak with Aaron Rodgers before I fired Robert Saleh. Like he admitted it.
Yep.
Right. But he says Aaron Rodgers had nothing to do, had no input on me firing him. No one had any input on him being fired by me. It was all my decision, blah, blah, blah. Like doing what an owner would do. Right. But I agree. Aaron Rodgers hasn't played well. He had one good game. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's when I said it looked like Aaron Rodgers was being Aaron Rodgers, and I went with the Jets, and then they laid a big fat freaking egg. So I am not an Aaron Rodgers fan.
I think there's even an online personality. I forget who it was, and you gotta forgive me for that because I really do forget. But they called him a coach killer. Yeah.
So like, just get Robert Saleh is going to get picked up someplace as a defensive coordinator, even if it's like a defensive assistant. Coach. So he's a good coach, right? Yeah. And he had some bad teams, and maybe, I don't know, their draft, they drafted what's the kid's name? Zach Wilson, right? As a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Probably not the best pick they ever made, but defensively, they've hit on the defensive side of the ball. They have done well. But again, that's where Robert Saleh, that's what he knows, that's where he lived. So you put him, if they can get it, another team can pick him up, even as a special assistant, whatever. So you're going to see an improvement on that defense, immediately.
Absolutely. I would love to see Detroit make a play. Honestly, I know.
Yeah,
because
wouldn't that be cool?
What do you got to lose? I mean, he's only going to come in there and add to that coaching staff. I remember when Jets hired him. I was wanting Detroit to hire Saleh as the head coach.
Yes. Yeah.
That was my guy that I was wanting to, Detroit to go after. Yep. Now I'm glad it worked out for the best. I'm not in any way saying that, it should happen now or anything. I'm just making the point that back then, that's what I was thinking. And, that's how much respect I had for him.
Yeah. So over the last couple of shows that we've done, my brother has, he's lived in this little nugget world.
I have.
And, I woke up this morning with this little itch on my brain and I had to do a little bit of research. So, this is a football related. It's actually Lions related.
Lions related. All right.
Okay. So, in the last 20 years, so the Lions and the Cowboys have played 31 times so far.
In the 20 years?
And no. Just over in 31
history.
Times in history. Sorry.
Okay.
So in history, they have played 31 times. Okay. But in the last 20 years, including this year, how many times have the Cowboys been to Detroit? It has only been 3. 3 times out of 5, 10, 16, 5, 10, 11, 14 times. 3 out of 14 matchups have been in Detroit. That, to me, was the last, and I went back to October 31st, 2004, so it made it almost exactly 20 years.
Okay.
And 3 times. Now, perspective, okay, in the total, including this matchup, will be 32 matchups. 15 of those matchups have been in Detroit. right? So it seems like if you go back further in history, like through the 80s,
Okay.
there were like the Cowboys came to the Lions. It was probably Thanksgiving.
It
I'd
was
have to look.
Thanksgiving.
It was
Yeah.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
right? So they were always playing on Thanksgiving, and so like it was
But
just a
now
lot of
Cowboys
games.
get their own Thanksgiving game.
Yes, and now the Cowboys get their own Thanksgiving game. But it just felt a little lopsided. But I also wanted to put some other perspective. Like it's not just I'm not trying to cause a conspiracy, but I was shocked because I sit here thinking to myself, when was the last time we played in Detroit, right? And it was in Detroit in 2019, November 17th, 2019.
Now, let me ask. When you asked me that question, as far as how many times I've been in Detroit, did you expect me to know the answer?
I did not. Is that one of your? Did you look it up, or was it something you had thought about before?
Totally pulled it out of my butt.
Yeah, yeah. He burst my nugget bubble.
Look,
that's all right. I have one more nugget. It's baseball related, so that's for later. I got one more nugget.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No.
But anyway,
I
I was shocked. Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, 14 games and only 3 played in Detroit. And we complain about the Lions and Cowboys almost every single year. We complain about that game, right? Every time they play, there's some controversial thing that happens, and it's
always in Cowboys' favor.
For everybody that's listening, it just pisses me off, and I hate that I don't have any other way to really just. I want to rage out and turn into the Hulk. But anyway, 3 times.
All right. So we got our picks. That's what they are. They're on the spreadsheet. We got them talked about. It is what it is. It's out there. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. So look, playoff baseball. Baseball. Look, as much as I love football, and believe me, I do, right? You know I love football, but baseball, especially playoff baseball, that's my thing. I absolutely love playoff baseball. The Tigers being in the playoffs just makes it so much sweeter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they had a chance to put it away yesterday. Unfortunately, they just didn't get the timely hits that they needed.
Yeah.
And, they walked away with the loss. Skubal is going to be on the mound tomorrow at 1 p.m., and that's going to be a great game. I'm going to be all over that.
Yep.
And look, it's do or die, right? And this is kind of where Tigers seem to perform. So we'll see exactly what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Tigers come out slugging and they go up by 6 runs, by the 4th inning. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all, because it just seems like that's when they start to just dig their heels in, as they say, no more, and they just come out and perform. Just, I don't know. Anyway,
so with that game yesterday for the Tigers, they gave up a couple of runs late, right? We did make one run up in the 9th.
We did.
I think we were in the 8th inning. We actually had runners on 2nd and 3rd. We had 2 outs, all right, and couldn't get them home. So we left a lot of runners stranded yesterday, and that's tough, right? I mean, yes, we scored 4 runs, right? But I think we had 10 hits, 12 hits, 13. Was at least 10, but I think it was more. So, and that's not even how many base runners we had.
Tigers had 9 hits.
9 hits, okay.
Yes, 9 hits.
But with whoever got walked, I know.
Tigers had 4 walks.
4 walks.
Yeah.
So now you're looking at what 13 base runners.
13 base runners.
We scored 4. That means we left 9, and some of them were in scoring, like 2nd and 3rd, like the 8th inning one. They were in scoring position.
Well, runners, the whole team for runners in scoring position is only 1 for 11.
Okay,
like
that's not good.
There you go. That's it.
Not so. And while I'm not a big baseball fan, I have been watching closely enough to, see, like, notice those types of things, right? Like, that's, to me. Now, Cleveland left a lot of guys on base too. They did.
Cleveland had 11 hits and a walk.
So it's not like they didn't. It was just, the pitchers battled their way through. We got the outs when we needed them, but when we needed that timely hit, we just didn't get it yesterday.
yeah, that was it. That was just yesterday, right? Now,
Correct.
as far as runners left on base, each team left 8. But runners in scoring position, the difference was Cleveland was 2 for 9, and the Tigers were 1 for 11, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
So,
And that's what think about. One, we only have one. It was 5-4.
yeah.
So yeah, that was tough. And Kansas City, tried to. I was wondering if they were going to put it on the Yankees. They did take one from the Yankees, but the Yankees, they won out. So the number 1 seed being the Yankees, they have made it to the ALCS. Tomorrow, the Tigers. The Tigers are going to beat the Cleveland Guardians by 3 runs. Nobody expected the Tigers to make it to the playoffs at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got to the ALDS or the wild card, everyone's like, "Oh my God, we made it to the wild card. Who would have thought?" And then we actually made it into the ALDS and had a chance to win it yesterday home. Right?
Yeah.
Like this is storybook stuff.
It is.
Right? These are things. It was 20 years ago when the Tigers, the 84 Tigers, right? That's what I keep thinking about. It was the 84 Tigers. And oh my God, yeah.
How many
Was
years
it
ago,
80
brother?
Oh, 40 years ago.
40
Jesus.
years.
Yeah, 20 years to me. No. But 40 years, right? Since the 84 Tigers.
Yeah.
And what an opportunity. Wouldn't it be so cool to get that, right? And get off that hump again. It just, especially with this team and what they had to do to even get to the playoffs. And it wasn't like they got help. I mean, I'm guessing they kind of did, but the Tigers
Minnesota
did what they
went on a
needed to
losing
do.
streak. It was
Yes.
yeah.
But the Tigers were just winning games. They didn't back themselves in. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
What they were 32-11 over the last 2 months.
It
was something ridiculous number.
It was.
Very excited for the Tigers.
The guy that disappointed me the most so far is in yesterday, and kind of all throughout the playoffs so far for the Tigers, has been Matt Vierling.
Matt Vierling.
Yeah. I like Matt Vierling.
You do.
Right? Like, I talk about him all the time. But he was 0 for 5 yesterday. He came up with some big spots. He had a chance to really break the game open, give him the lead, and he just failed every single time. So yeah, that you just can't. I'm sorry.
You can't do that.
I don't want to be,
not like you're hating on him.
I don't want to dog on the guy, but
you're stating some facts. Like, we need him in these positions, right?
Yes.
So step up, and just one knock. You get one hit, and it changes that game yesterday, right?
Yes, it does.
One hit changes the game.
Changes it. And look, and the game before that, he went 0 for 3, right? So the first game against Cleveland, 0 for 4. Second game, he contributed a lot, right? He went 2 for 3, he had a double, and 2 walks. Like, he was on base a ton in that second game there. But then, that second game is the only game he performed offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I know you can't pick and choose, but in the 3 games against Cleveland, he's 0 for 12.
0 for 12.
Yeah, and no walks either during those times, right?
Yeah.
Like, he did have a sacrifice fly or something like in one game, but but other than that, 0 for 12, no walks, not on base at all. And that's you can't have a person in the middle of your lineup going 0 for 12.
Not especially when he's played so well.
Yeah,
right.
He absolutely has.
So I need some big things from him. Before we move on, to the NL side, what did you think of Jackson Job's performance yesterday? I know he pitched late. I think he pitched an inning and a half.
I think he gave up a run or something.
He did. Yep.
Yeah. Look, it's tough. To grade just because of I'm not mad at the guy or anything like that, right?
No. Yep. Because I got my follow-up question is he the guy you in that instance when the game is that close and this is the rookie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that says a lot about the team and what he's done. I guess that the team has had enough faith in him to try and go out on the mound, and help get a couple outs with the game like that close. But it's tough I think about the movie Major League, when Cleveland had to play that, extra game, and they're like, hey, Wild Thing, you're not going to start. I know it's your turn on the rotation, but they were going to go with the experience, right? Like, to me, you bring in a kid, and he's just a kid. He's only been up since what, September?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, mid-September.
He's not the guy I'd put in that situation personally.
Right.
All right.
That's I think that's what I was thinking when I saw him out on the mound. That's not the guy I would have put.
I wanted to see Will Vest pitch longer. Will Vest only pitched 2/3 of an inning. All right.
Okay.
Like I wanted him to pitch more. He had a K in that. The guy looked like his stuff was working. Like,
yeah,
Will Vest was looking, really good. And I would have liked to have seen Vest kind of continue on. And I understand why they took him out, because look, AJ Hinch is going to do what AJ Hinch does.
Yeah.
And one of the things he does is he loves playing matchups. So I understand why he took Vest out.
Yep.
But I think I would have left Vest in there for a little bit longer. And because I think at the time you had to go with Job because, again, of the matchup, but you had to go with Job for over an inning. And I think that's ultimately what hurt Job, because he gave up 3 hits, to get 4 outs.
Correct.
And I think if you would have limited Job's time in there, like maybe, I know you can't do it. You can't go back, erase it. I understand all that. But like if you pitch Job 2/3 of an inning and pitch Vest, like twice as long,
the inning
right?
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there you go. Like I think, I just think Vest needed more time in there. It can minimize the amount of pitches Job thrown, how many batters Job had to throw to. And I think it could have had a different outcome. You can't go back and quarterback it, because you don't know the moves Cleveland's going to make that causes you to make the moves you got to make on the side for the Tigers, right? Like, so, but nonetheless, at the time when they took Vest out, I was hesitant about it, because I just liked the movement of his pitches. I liked how hard he was throwing. He had good placement. I thought Vest should have gone longer.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'd like to get your analysis, because one, we've been talking about our young players and how well they've contributed, and we have talked about Jackson Jobe throughout the season. When he was down in the minors, and what he was throwing and how well he was doing, and we were just waiting for that opportunity for him to come up.
Yeah,
but it just, I thought it was an interesting call. Let's just say that. So,
well,
Hinch is the guy that gets paid to make the choice and make that decision.
And Hinch is outcoached. Like, in my opinion, this series, Hinch is outcoached Cleveland. I'm just saying. And so I don't want to sit there and just completely, like, I'm not trying to dog AJ Hinch. Not by any means, right?
Look,
I'm just saying, like,
and we shut out Cleveland 2 games in a row, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like
Cleveland went, I think 19 innings against Detroit without scoring. I think it was something
19
like that.
innings. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's the number I heard. Right, 19 innings without no runs. Right, and that's a long time.
It's a long time,
right? And so, I agree. I think you're right. Hinch he has coached, he's managed that team very well, and done the things that he would continue to do the same things, and just it didn't fall our way.
It didn't fall our way, and look, Cleveland, the football players get paid. They want to win just as bad as the Detroit players want to win.
Yep.
But no, I really do believe that I understand the matchup situation, why I put Job in there, but the one part I just don't disagree with was Vest. That was it. That's all I can really say, right?
Okay.
It's just the whole Vest situation.
So, all right. Well, that kind of wraps up the AL side. How about the NL side? And I just want to say this one thing. So I have a student, he's a huge Phillies fan, right? So, Cooper, I just want to put this out there. It says, Philly did it again. And I shouldn't say that. It says, actually, Philly didn't do it again. And they're going to be sitting at home watching the World Series. So, I hope you enjoy that.
Look, I did not think the Mets were going to beat Phillies. I really didn't. But
I don't think anybody. The Mets came in as the 6th seed.
But they kind of had the same road Detroit did. Not in the same fashion as, but it's very similar, right? Like they were down and out. Nobody expected them to really, come back and make the wild card. They did, and they came in as one of the hottest teams, like the Tigers did.
Yep.
And they are now upsetting teams because of, they were the underdogs. And
Yeah.
I don't know what else to really say about it. I think there's a lot of similarities between the two teams, between Mets and Tigers. And
Right.
Mets, of course, have a much higher payroll. But
yes, much higher.
But if you look at some of the players on their team, like Vientos and stuff like that, like they're doing with some young guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is not my nugget, but I thought about this for a second. If the Dodgers win tonight, it'd be the 1 seed versus the 6 seed in the NLCS. Tigers win tomorrow, it'll be the 1 seed versus the 6 seed in the ALCS. Wouldn't it be cool to see a couple of 6 seeds in the World Series?
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't complain about that.
I wouldn't complain about that. Now, I'm just, cool. Like you start looking at numbers, and I get, the 1 seed, just they had the best record. The Yankees had the best record, and the Mets and the Tigers had to win their way in, basically, right? And that's what they seem to be doing so far. So, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and
so speaking of the Dodgers, we're at the end of the 5th. It's still 1-0.
Still 1-0, and it looks like Yamamoto is going to be coming out here shortly. It looks like.
Okay.
Dodgers had some people warm up the bullpen, so we'll see if he comes out at the top of the inning here.
Yeah.
And Dodgers versus Padres. Look, I was talking to my brother earlier about it. Everybody that listens to the show knows I'm an Ohtani fan, and he has not had a very good postseason just in general. So he's 0 for 2 today. He's got a strikeout, and I'm just not. Look, I'm not happy with his performance. That's all you can really say about it.
Man, and it's first time there, right?
It doesn't matter to me.
I know, but
look,
he's the ultimate consummate professional, and you think you do everything you can to be prepared to go in these types of moments, right?
I don't think there's anybody. I mean, nobody tries to prepare more than Ohtani.
Yep. And I don't think there's anybody in this world that's going to be harder on Ohtani than Ohtani.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Except for me right now. No, I'm just joking.
All right.
But yeah, he need, like, the point is, you have these stars that you count on, and they have to perform. That's all.
Yes. So now that we're talking Dodgers, Padres. Now, this has been an interesting series in that there's been a lot of, like, Jack Flaherty, and I forget who he was, John, with out from the Padres. Like, man, they were going back and forth, right, in that game 1. And they had extra police presence when they went to the San Diego because of all the jawing that was going on and everything that was happening, right?
Okay.
Well, you talked about the 2 starting pitchers that came out today for the Padres and the Dodgers, right?
Yes.
Well, it got me thinking because both these players are from Japan. And you mentioned that, right?
I did.
You brought that up before our show. We were talking, this is our pre-show stuff that we kind of go over. And this is when I thought about this. Has that ever happened in a postseason game? Having 2 starting pitchers who were born in Japan. This is my other nugget.
I mean, I can't think of it. I mean, you'd think that if it did happen, it would have to been because Nomo, there was a lot of Japanese, but Nomo was nobody was over at the time for Nomo.
Yeah, and just starting pitching in a postseason game.
I can't think of another time.
Yeah, it's the first time it's ever happened.
Didn't it also happen in game 1 though? Because did they also face each other game 1 of the series?
And that could have been, but it says I was looking at Sporting News mentioned it. Yu Darvish and Yamamoto it's the inside MLB's first playoff game between Japanese-born starting pitchers.
Okay,
so I don't know who started game 1 for both teams, but it says they make history in game 5, and this is from Sports Illustrated.
Okay, maybe it was not. Let's see.
So I try to get the reparable. I had Sporting News, Sports Illustrated, but
who started the first game? No, it was Dylan Cease that started the first game. Okay. That's right. Okay. Yeah, this will be the first time then. Because I know Yamamoto started the first game for the Dodgers, and okay.
But first time that's happened with Japanese-born starting pitchers in postseason history. And it's just, we talked about Yu Darvish, and he's 38, right? And that he hasn't seemed to, you talked about how there hasn't been much fall off in his production over his career, right?
Yeah.
And I think you said he came in the league 2014?
2013, I think.
It was one, yeah. So it's been,
He was 25 anyways when he came into the league.
So it would have to be before that. But anyway, if he's 38.
Oh, 2012 was his first year.
2012. Okay. So I know we mentioned it. It came up. I was just, I thought that was a cool little nugget, little tidbit that, it's another MLB first.
Yeah.
Right. We had and in this series, we have our first 50-50, club member. And then I don't know, tied it all together is what I was trying to do. Trying to tie it all together.
No, look, anytime, something makes history, it's kind of a cool thing. I kind of like that history thing. And
yeah.
And I kind of mentioned it before, but I didn't say the exact number. In the Tigers game, they put on the scoreboard, I think it was last game, that Tigers have 11 rookies on the playoff roster. And that's the first time in history that so many rookies have been on the playoff roster.
That's crazy. 11 rookies?
11 rookies.
11 rookies.
Yeah. That's a record.
So, playoff roster numbers, how many can they hold on the roster?
26.
20. It's almost half our roster are rookies, right? That's just crazy. Now, I know a bunch of those guys had a lot of experience in and out, and this is going to, at least some of those players are going to lose their rookie status this year.
Oh, pretty much all of them. I mean, Jackson Jobe will keep it because, he joined so late and stuff like that. But yeah, most of the, like Colt Keith and Parker Meadows and all them.
Meadows, yeah. Trey Sweeney's going to lose his.
Right? Yeah, he'll probably lose his.
But no, we're a super young team. I think you said we were the youngest team in the playoff, right?
Youngest team I think in baseball.
Well, might have been, youngest team in baseball. And we have like one of the smallest payrolls. Well, is it the smallest payroll? We have the smallest payroll for playoff team.
For the playoff team?
Sure. Yeah.
I think the smallest payroll is Oakland in general.
Man. All right.
But that makes sense, though.
But that makes sense. That's why they, they're still trying to play Moneyball, I guess.
No, they're not even trying to do that.
They're not even trying to. Actually, they were just trying to move out and get to Vegas.
They were trying to be the Indians from Major League.
Yeah. Well, them or the White Sox, anyway.
Yeah, well, White Sox isn't trying to leave, though. That's the only thing.
The Bad News Bears versus, the Cleveland Indians of Major League movie. So that's kind of what you got. But anyway, that's kind of it. That's what's going on. The NLCS will be decided tonight. The ALCS will be decided tomorrow.
Yep.
Fingers crossed for the Tigers. They have the team. They have the talent. I think you've said it. They've been coached well. We just need some timely hits and, kind of go from there.
Yeah. I mean, we had plenty of base runners, and even against some of our best pitchers, Bybee, he went up throwing.
Yep.
But we got base runners. We just really, and Indians threw all of their best pitchers, the best starters, their best relievers, the closer. Class A is the best closer in baseball right now. And he didn't shut down the Tigers, so
he gave up that home run to, what's his name now?
McKinstry?
Was it McKinstry?
He's only, I talking about for yesterday, because I think McKinstry was the first hit a home run.
No, it wasn't yesterday. It was the day before.
You're talking about the day before. Yeah, okay.
The day before.
Yeah.
Yeah, not yesterday's game. It was the day before that, or the game before that.
And so Tigers have been on Class A, right? And again, they did a pretty good job against Bybee. Overall, the Tigers have not been shut out by their by their big pitching. I think that's great.
Now, when Skubal pitched in game 2, did he go 7 or was it just 6? Do you remember?
I know he went at least 7.
I think he went 7.
Yeah.
I feel like if that happens again, the Tigers, I think it's their game.
Well, what's interesting is right now the thought is that Skubal will be going against Boyd, and that's who he pitched against the last time was Boyd. but Boyd shut out the Tigers when he was pitching.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, Boyd was once a Tiger. Boyd played a lot of years for the Tigers. And Boyd, Scooble talks about Boyd, how he's a close friend, because they're both left-handed pitchers. When Scooble got the call up, he looked to Boyd as kind of a mentor. Boyd kind of taught him how to be professional. Like, they have like a really close relationship, that goes just beyond, baseball.
Right.
So anyway, like that's kind of cool, but yeah, they're going to face each other again. But Boyd pitched from 2015 to 2021, I think, for the Tigers. Yeah, those lean years.
Yeah. All I can say right now, my last thing, let's go Tigers.
Do or die.
Yeah.
They got the man, the Cy Young. Well, more than likely the Cy Young Award winner.
Presumptive.
But
I would say we'll call it
Triple Crown.
presumptive.
Yeah. He's got the Triple Crown, right?
Like the Triple Crown.
This is the guy that you want on the mound for this game.
And it's interesting that it worked out that way because there was a lot of talk about Scooble pitching game 1 on short rest.
Yeah.
And, they left him and kept him on his normal rest. He's going to stay on normal rest again and come out and, just give him your best.
Yeah. That's all you can do.
Hope for the guys behind you can give you what you need.
But yeah, I'll definitely be watching that game. Because, got you. That's best to watch baseball. At any rate, I don't really have any additional nuggets, though. You kind of did my nuggets with the 11 rookie things. That's kind of all I had this time.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, these just came to me. It wasn't like I set out to say I'm going to have nuggets over my brother. It's not. That's not what I was trying to do. I just, like I said, I woke up this morning and it's bothering me. It was just, like with the Lions and Cowboys thing, it was bugging me. So, all right.
Yeah. Ohtani's on deck. Edmonds up. And this is what I was talking about to you earlier, brother. One more thing. I got to say this. I want to put it out there on the air because this is something I've thought about and I just don't like. I don't like Ohtani batting leadoff.
Yep. You did mention that.
And I also think that's a place for him. You got a guy that hits over 50 home runs, and he had over 100 RBIs already, batting leadoff, which is unheard of. It's just because he hit over 50 home runs. I think 54. Yeah. So but no, he's got to be lower down in the lineup because you want your hitters like Betts and Freeman to get on base. If you look at their on base percentages, it's almost guaranteed that one of the two will be on base when Ohtani comes up to the plate, and that's what you want. So, I know Ohtani's good on the base pass. I know he stole like almost 60 bases, or I'm sorry, what's it? Yeah, almost 60 bases.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You gotta put him down in the lineup. You want him to hit when nobody else is on. Somebody else is on base. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I wanted to say. I want to close out with that. I just don't agree with this.
Yeah. Well, I will say Edmund just flied out. Ohtani is up. It looks like he's already down 0-1.
Yeah, he had a little
he fouled
ball. He fouled off the second one. He's 1 for 10 lifetime against Yu Darvish.
Okay. Wow. That doesn't bode too well.
No. Well, Yu Darvish is a great pitcher, man.
Look, and looking at the pitch where the pitches are, he's throwing him strikes.
Yeah, he's going after him. He's challenging him.
Yeah. So, all right, everybody. We appreciate your time. We're almost in that 55-minute mark, and this was just usually our picks are about 35 to 40 minutes. But
I think it's even shorter, really. But
yeah, we've had some that are shorter, but we do add some extra stuff with the baseball stuff there because tonight and tomorrow are the do or die games. So for the championship series.
But let us know about our picks. What do we get right in your opinion, and what do we get wrong in your opinion? Let us know. And anyways, after that, he just struck out, and we'll just talk to everybody next time. We'll do a show on Sunday. Lions have a late afternoon game, so we'll try to do it after the Lions game.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that being said, appreciate everybody listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Take care, everybody.